Don't worry about the boy. I'm just curious. Pretty sure you're ready up here. How he walk the what? What's up, people? What's up, folks? This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I got my crew with me. They got their mics muted right now, so just in case they saying something, go ahead and unmute your mics, fellas.
Yeah.
What's up, K-Bum Twitter?
Yo, what up?
K-Bum sound like he's finna come in.
Yeah, man, I like that.
Yeah.
Podcast 117. Not enough time. But what you been up to, fellas? What y'all been on, Keith and K-Bum Twitter?
Man, working with these elderly doctors at this school, saving all their stuff to their desktop, getting on my nerves.
You said
Nah, this lady I was working with today, she saved all her basically all her documents and stuff to her desktop, and when I switched out her computer, I thought she had it all in the documents in a file. You know how they go. Gotta teach these old folks. Turn my mic up.
Hey, that's funny, yo. That remind me of a story, man. When I used to work back in college, I worked in kind of the IT field. We were helping out teachers. We were replacing the teachers' computers and upgrading them, right?
Yeah.
And so I went into one of the teacher's office. He was like an English teacher, something like that. And he wasn't in the office, but they already knew we were going in to upgrade the teacher's computer to like a new operating system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't doing that. Sorry, for him, I'm sorry, we were replacing his monitor. I'm sorry, for this guy, we were replacing his monitor because they were upgrading the monitor in the school. And so we were going just to replace his monitor. That's it, just to replace it. And so we go there, we get there, you know what I'm saying? We unplug the monitor by getting ready to take it out. The teacher comes into the room and says, "Hey, what you guys doing?" We said, "Oh, yeah. We sent the memo out to everybody, let them know that we're upgrading and replacing people's monitors." And then he said, "Oh, you can't take my monitor. All my files are on there."
Oh, wow.
And so my partner looked at him like, "What he saying?" And we clicked that the dude thought, because the file was on the screen, that he actually thought that the file was on the monitor and not on the PC of the computer. So that was just some craziness, man.
So basically, he just was in computer illiterate, basically.
Bruh, on some seriousness.
Yeah, that is one of them, bro. Anyway, man, welcome back to the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We're here to do nothing but talk about them games. You weren't on last time, K-Bum. So what did you see the McGregor Mayweather fight?
Yeah, I saw it. I peeped it out.
What you think?
But I thought, oh man, it was I enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent fight. I thought both fighters went in there with their own game plan, and both fighters executed their game plan. To me, Conor was way better than I thought he was going to be in the boxing ring. He had a very fast uppercut counter to Mayweather during the first couple rounds, and I was very surprised by that. Yeah, the first 2-3 rounds, if you saw his uppercut counter, it was fast, man. And that wasn't the best Floyd that we've seen. You can definitely see the age and him slowing down because he got hit with some punches he shouldn't have. But it was a very entertaining fight, man. Floyd took the fight to him. I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, I thought some of them punches he got was because he was basically walking down McGregor rather than doing what Floyd typically do. But
exactly
at the exact same time, like he was getting hit with some abnormal with some punches that he normally is easily evade. So yeah,
but he got caught that uppercut in that second round, boy. He got lifted off the ground with that uppercut in that second round. I couldn't believe that one.
Yeah, he said, and me and Keith were talking about this last podcast. We just shooting the breeze right now. He said that Mayweather said his plan was to try to feel out McGregor's power to see where it was at, and basically he said it wasn't the hardest or close to the hardest he ever felt. You know, he named others who has hit him that he felt were harder punches. So that's probably why he had the confidence to keep walking them down. Because
yeah, he did.
I guess he didn't feel like McGregor's punches was really doing anything. My interesting experience, man, I was listening to some Irish McGregor fans on YouTube as they was commentating the fight. That was real interesting. But but what up, Keith?
What up? What up? I'm over here responding to Lurking Ghoul. He was talking about the power too, and I was like, he probably was trying to stick and move. So you know, when you try to stick and move, you can't punch as hard as you want to. You're like, let me get out of there. Let me get out of there. So what's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. You know, we done had a lot happening in gaming for the last few days to weeks.
It's been busy.
Microsoft has it's been busy in gaming. Microsoft had their Xbox One pre-orders. I mean Xbox One X to pre-orders. We can talk about that. I want to talk about something I've seen concerning Sony and give our thoughts on that. But before we get into all that, what you been gaming on? Let's start with that. Since K-Bun been gone the longest, what you been gaming on, bro?
Well, good old Madden just came out last Tuesday, so that's been pretty much taking up the bulk of my time is getting some Madden in. Well, I played a little of something else. What I played, it was very, very brief. Actually, I hadn't. So since the last time we've been playing, I've also got pretty far in Horizon. I think I'm about 16 hours in Horizon. Yeah, I'm about 16 hours in Horizon.
Keith, do you feel
Man.
Man, so is it good?
It's good. It's really good in areas, and it's kind of suspect in others.
Explain details.
Okay, so the action, what my Nintendo fans would enjoy. The gameplay is legit.
Okay.
It's legit, man. Did anyone play BattleShock? I'm not BattleShock. Bioshock.
Man, I got all three, and I have never really just sunk my teeth into them.
But if you play BioShock, you never played it. Okay, if you play BioShock, you understand that certain you have to keep switching up your repertoire with your with the ammo, with the guns and what you're shooting. So these enemies had electric, and so you had it's only certain things you can do to really harm him or kill them faster. These dudes were vulnerable to fire, and so you use your fire powers mixed with something else, you know. And you can combine powers to do some really cool stuff. Well, in Horizon, you have combinations and stuff like that you can mix together in certain enemies. And so if you're fighting multiple enemies, you have to kind of use the fire for this guy, and then you got to use some other weapons for this guy. And so it's pretty cool. The combat system. I like the stealth in the game. Kind of reminds me of playing Metal Gear Solid, the way they've added the stealth in the game. I really like it because it slows down the gameplay. You can't just run in there and just fight. You can, and you will die. But they added a nice little stealth aspect of the game when it comes to that. So where it kind of struggles at is that the story it struggles with the story. Me being
that was supposed to be the creme de la creme of the game. What's the story? So you saying the story is weak?
The story is a little weak on my own. So the side characters don't have the Keith would know the side characters in Witcher, even like the minute side characters, like you felt their identity, the individuality. You know, they felt important to you.
Yeah, the side missions in The Witcher, man, it actually felt like an extension of the main game, and that you actually cared, like he was saying, like you actually cared about those characters.
Mm-hmm. And here, I can care less. Any like no one really has character, and it's part of it is how the line. Like I think that they have issues with delivering lines. Like it's like they talk, they say a line, then it's like a second and a half pause, and say another line, like a second pause, and say another line, and it kind of takes you out of the realm of reality. Like no one talks like that, you know.
So it takes you out the immersion. So
yeah, it kind of it takes you out of immersion, and you know what I'm saying. And I started doing side missions just for XP. In The Witcher, I'm doing side missions. I'm like, I want to see where this breadcrumb leads. So I'm doing this. I'm like, oh my god, what? So who's this person? And I'm like, I even maybe Google who this person is, so I can understand the story, so I can understand what's going on. But in Horizon, it's how the lines are delivered. It's the facial animations. To me, are not up to par. So what it did for me, I had a Witcher, I think at like a 95 on my scale. What it did for me after playing Horizon is that it bumped Witcher up to about 98, 99. Because it showed me how well they actually did things, like how amazing they were able to even get their facial animations in The Witcher and conversation, and it looked like a real conversation. It made Witcher just look that much better. Because this game right now, to me, is about an 85-ish type game, because the combat is dope. It's about an 86, but it's nowhere near The Witcher.
Well, let me ask this. You know my type of style, and you know the type of games I like. Which one would you recommend to me? I know you say you like The Witcher, but which one between The Witcher and Horizon would you tell me to get?
It would be hard for me, despite anybody's preference, to tell them to get this over The Witcher. Because The Witcher just does.
I almost bought
it. It does everything right. So what I give this Horizon the nod over The Witcher is, and I talked to my buddy about this, is the leveling up system. It is way more streamlined in Horizon than it is in The Witcher. The Witcher has 3 games behind it, and so the level up system is very complex, very, very complex.
What you mean?
So you don't immediately feel the impact of leveling up one of your powers. You don't immediately feel the impact. In this game, if you level something up, you immediately feel the impact.
Okay, I got you.
You know,
it may take you in The Witcher like 5 different level ups in order to feel an impact on that thing that you level.
So if you say, for instance, you leveling up a shield or a sword, you won't. I don't know. I ain't never played with them. Just or a potion or a magic.
Yeah,
you won't feel the power raised 4 and 2, maybe 5 or 6 levels.
To about 3 to 4 levels, you won't feel it. Like you can make your
rise, and you feel it off. You feel it immediately
off the bat. Soon as I turn my critical hit up 1 level, I felt the impact. I'm taking down bigger enemies 1 hit.
To me, when I was leveling up with The Witcher, it just made things more. No, I ain't gonna say that. It gave me things that I wasn't able to use. Like if I had some armor that I had found or something like that, and then I couldn't use it because I wasn't at a certain level. But as far as like attacking and things like that, nah, you never felt it unless you go back into an area where those guys were weak. But yeah, I agree.
I mean by the level up, I don't mean just like level 17 to level 18. What I mean is there's the RPG aspect of the leveling up system where you have all these trees, skill trees, the skill trees, and the skill tree in The Witcher is way more complex than the skill tree in Horizon, and you don't feel the upgrading in the skill tree in Horizon than you immediately feel when you do it in The Witcher. Yeah, I mean the skill tree.
The character builds over there.
Yes, the character build. Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Let me ask this, Keith. You played Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you saw how that game does the leveling up or powering up. How would you explain Witcher's leveling up system by you? How would you explain it compared to Zelda's? I might get what I might be able to understand K-Bum a little bit better because I want to play Witcher, but I don't want to get into something that I ain't ready for. So. But how is it comparable?
No, not even close. Okay.
All right,
it's almost as if Zelda doesn't even have one compared to Witcher. when he says Witcher, like it's so complex. He's right. It's like it's almost a game of
It's
itself.
inside of a game inside a game. Yep.
Yeah. And
I'm
Zelda,
trying to think of a game. Okay, what about Mordor?
You might have to find something like
Shadows
a Diablo to find something similar to The Witcher.
Nah, I ain't never got off into them
Because
okay,
it's I mean it's deep. Like so to just put in perspective, the whole skill tree for Horizon, it will probably be one of the 4 skill trees in The Witcher. Their entire skill tree in Horizon. It's that deep in The Witcher.
Is it okay? I don't play games like this, but I don't typically like them. But I know Batman Arkham Knight had a skill tree. Is it like that where you? Is it like that?
It's
that grid
like
where you.
Yep, but even more complex.
Yeah,
more complex.
That's a simplified, because you have to understand that when you're playing The Witcher, once you unlock the power, there's still 4 to 5 levels in that power. So you can unlock a new power, but there's still 5 more levels in that power, and then there's still 5 different sets of powers, and inside those 5 sets of powers is 5 more subsets of powers across a grid that's 7 wide. So you have 7 different types of powers. Each of those 7 have 5 different main powers, and inside the 5 main powers are 3 to 5 more levels.
I feel like we in school.
Yeah, you can practically make yourself invincible on The Witcher, but you have to know what skills to combine with what skills, and then you got to know what potions to drink at what moments and all this other stuff. So.
And not even how deep the potions is. That's a whole different level.
That is
not
a
even
whole
deep
different
how like it's. Yeah, man, that game is just amazing, man. Those guys over there they made a game you can play for a long time.
Yeah,
with The Witcher. I mean, seriously, you can play that game for. I'll probably play the game for 2 years, to be honest. I bought it like last in 2007, 2016, and I'll be playing it for a long time.
I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and make that purchase. I've been hesitant, man, but I'm trying to try new experiences, so I might go and get that Witcher. But Keith, what you been gaming on, man? Let's keep if you done.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
I want it. Okay, Keith, what you been gaming on?
Man, I've been on that Madden. No, just playing.
I got it. My bag. Yeah, I feel you. Go ahead, man.
I picked up Mario Rabbids. Was it yesterday? I picked it up. I picked up the day it came out, and I probably ain't even put 10 minutes into that game, so I can't say I've been sleepy, bro. Just so tired when I got home. But anyways, it's cool. So far, I can't really say much, but it's cool. I'm liking the gameplay so far. I haven't fought any bosses, anything like that, but I'm still in the introductory process part, learning the commands and things like that. But it's pretty cool. I don't think I played anything since the last podcast. I think that's the only thing I really played.
All right. Well, like you, I picked up, actually just picked it up today, the Mario plus Rabbids. And I would say I'm enjoying it. I put in about maybe an hour. I made it through the first 4. I'm in the 4th stage of the 4th, I guess, area of the first stage. That makes sense.
I know so.
So, it's interesting. I'm liking it. I like how you just can't go out there and do, you can't leave your man in open space. Like I messed up, and the controls is unique and different because if you mess around and don't finish, like making sure Mario or Princess Rabbit or whatever is in the right space, they can be left open in the middle of nowhere because you didn't get them in cover properly. And you got half guard, full guard, depending on what you're standing behind and how high it is, from certain angles, you'll be open. And I thought I was going to breeze through. No, man, I did good. I mean, I got all perfect except for one. I got good. but it was because I left Mario out when I was trying to get against the wall. I slipped up and pushed the wrong button, and it left Mario standing where he was, so he was in open space. And they were just tagging him left and right, and he died. But I made it through with the. I made it through. I had to use all my turns, but I made it through, and they gave me a good instead of a perfect. But I'm liking it. It looks good. The game is beautiful. I'm still learning all the mechanics. I'm still learning. I just received my second weapon. Mario has this ability to where if you enable it, he can attack out of rhythm and out of turn. Like, say for instance, one of the enemies or one of the enemy rabbits pokes his head out the back of his position and tries to shoot. Mario will shoot him before he's able to get his blast off with his power up. I think Rabbit Peach has a defense bubble where she puts it around her, and even though she's getting hit, it's taking less damage. And the Luigi Rabbit, I forgot what his was, but it's pretty dope, man. Once you learn how to chain certain moves together, like you can literally sweep kick an enemy and then go into guard and then turn around and shoot that enemy, so you get a double hit. And so there's all these combinations, and then using your teammate to jump to a farther location, and it's pretty dope, man. I mean, I've never played a game like this. The whole I think they say this is almost like
XCOM.
Yeah, XCOM and all that. And I've never really played these type of strategy games. I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not, but I'm enjoying it so far. I ain't gonna say I'm blown away, but I ain't deep enough into it to even go there yet. But yeah, I've been playing that. Like I said, just got it as soon as I got off work, picked it up. Didn't even start playing it right away. I think I started playing maybe about 2 hours before the podcast. So I played that. Got a little Splatoon in this week. Not much Splatoon this week. And that Mark of Wolves, man. That's about it. That's what I've been playing on. D2K, what's up, man?
What's up?
Okay. So you hear what you've been gaming on, bro? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. No,
what you been gaming on?
I've been working. That's why I'm late coming in.
Okay, cool.
Working for the man.
So
no, I'm not working for the man.
So basically, man, there's been a lot of stuff that done happened this week. We had the Nindies. We had
yes.
Mark. What'd you say?
I said yes. The Nindies.
And we had Microsoft with the whole announcement that they had the fastest ever pre-order sellout in Xbox or Microsoft history.
Ever.
And we got the PlayMan, which is a concept designed by Curved Labs, which is based off the rumored and speculated Sony PlayStation Switch-like device. We're gonna talk about that. But where I want to go first, I want to get this on out the way. EA is getting on my nerves, people. EA came out, and I don't know if K-Bum's seen this or not. I don't know if I posted it in our Hangout. EA has been trying to pitch FIFA for the Switch real strong, talking about they have a custom engine. It's not Frostbite, but it's not what's the old engine they used?
Ignite.
Another engine that they had.
Ignite.
It's not that Ignite. It's supposedly not the Ignite engine, and it's not the Frostbite engine.
Right.
It's an engine built from ground up.
It's a custom
for the Switch. Custom engine for the Switch for this particular game. Now, in the interview, the person was asking why didn't they do Frostbite, and what stuck out to me was they said that they could have did the Frostbite engine, but they didn't want to go through the hassle of trying to get it up and running. They thought it would be better to just make a custom engine from ground up for the Switch. And then in that same interview, he admitted to this representative
Yo, you cut out.
I often say, was it me?
Nah, he cut out. He'll come back. So I'm not gonna finish this point because I want him to take it there where you kind of to take it there. But I know I saw some of that interview of the EA kind of trying to talk up that Xbox. I'm not Xbox. That FIFA game. And you made it back level?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I just dropped. But anyway, I guess EA trying to freeze my computer, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, you will not talk about us tonight. Anyway, let's get into it. So, EA in this interview admitted that they in the past were releasing.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say crappy. He used the S word. He used. I can't use the word here. I won't use it because I don't use that type of language.
Sugar honey.
But he used. Yes, he used. It was that NT. We released NT ports. So this means it was intentional that they knew that the ports that they was giving to the Nintendo fan base were crap. Now they want us to believe that they have made a custom designed engine strictly and specifically for the Switch for FIFA. I have a hard time believing anything this dude had to say, and I want to get y'all opinion. I'm gonna throw that K-bomb first. What do you think about this, man?
I think about this. So I do believe that there are many times where EA takes liberty and takes the lazy road out. I have admitted this because I've seen it. But it all started with how, if you paid attention to how the Switch FIFA was being marketed. If you paid attention to that, and I actually tweeted about it. The way that this game was being marketed was what they say. They say that this is the best mobile version of FIFA ever.
Right.
That was their marketing. They marketed it as the best mobile version of FIFA ever. They didn't even market it to the Switch as a home console game. They marketed it as a mobile game.
Yeah, you caught that.
Yes, I caught that real early, and I'm like, hold up, nah, man, you're supposed to be making a home console FIFA, not a mobile FIFA. When you compare this to a phone, to a tablet, yes, it should be better. This shouldn't even be in the same conversation with a tablet. But we're not comparing. We shouldn't be comparing FIFA on the Switch to a tablet. We should be comparing FIFA on the Switch to the Xbox, to the PS4, not to the PS3, which I also saw in the article, but to the PS4.
Yes.
And I really think, and I really feel that, and y'all know that sometimes I take the role and I defend EA because sometimes I think they get a bad rap. I do. Sometimes I think they get a bad rap, and sometimes, no matter, like as you said, no matter what they say, you can't believe them. But this is intentional. They gave you a lesser product, and they're trying to find a way to market it so they can still make money. And I don't like that. I said when I first saw them saying that this is the best mobile version, that shouldn't even be a sentence. You should be making the best. A great console version of FIFA for the Switch, not just concentrating on it being the best mobile version. So that's kind of my 2 cents about it. I think I think they're trying to put some lipstick on it. But I don't think the game is terrible though. That's the thing.
No.
I've watched the game. I've seen the gameplay. I've compared it. It's definitely less than the PS4 version, but it actually doesn't look bad. It actually looks like it plays like the PS4 version of FIFA. It looks more like 17 than it does 18, but it looked like a legit. If someone were to play 17 on a PS3, PS4, and then go play on the Switch, I think it would be a very good game.
It's about the
But
principles.
I know. That's why that's why I wanted to stop and talk about that, because I can't. The principles of it. I spent the first 5 seconds of talking about that, how they crap that up.
Go ahead, Keith. What's your thoughts, man?
Oh man, I have such a love-hate relationship with EA. They got one of my favorite franchises in Mass Effect, and then they treat my Nintendo consoles like crap, man. It hurts because on one half I want to support them, but then on the other half I don't. But then when you hear stuff like this and you see that what they've been doing, and then they expecting a great return. They expecting Nintendo fans to come out and buy the greatest mobile FIFA game, but you just admitted that you're not putting your best foot forward, and you've been doing that. You like a good relationship, both parties and everybody have to put into the relationship, right?
Yep.
You put in, you get out what you put in, and
Right.
they haven't been putting in. They haven't been doing the work. So I hope, and I think you said this level, I hope nobody goes out and buy this game. I don't care if it is decent. I don't care if it is the best mobile version of the game. Because if you're not going to put your best foot forward, then I shouldn't support you. You know, because I can go out, let's say 2 million people go out and buy this game. That doesn't mean the next game is going to be great. No, you're going to say, well, you like that. I'm going to give you that again. So it's not like if the money is there, we're going to increase the product. No, we're going to give you that again because you apparently enjoyed it. But
D2K. Oh no. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. What's your thoughts on this? If you need me to inform you on what was going on, I can. But unless you already know, what's your thoughts?
Don't really care.
Don't really care.
No.
I like it.
I mean, everything that's being said about EA is true, but it also can be deflected right back at Nintendo, because when you talk about relationships and both parties bringing everything they have to the table, Nintendo's not doing that either. You know, you can say that, well, the reason why it doesn't have the latest Frostbite engine is because the console is antiquated. So you got both parties not giving you, the gamers, what you deserve. EA is giving you crappy ports on purpose. Nintendo is giving you underpowered hardware on purpose. Both companies have the reasons why. We don't agree with those reasons, but they do it anyway. And that's pretty much how all companies work, is that they find the lowest common denominator to make the biggest amount of money that they can. They cut corners here, they cut corners there, they do the least amount of work possible, and we go out like lemons, jumping off the cliff, doing everything they tell us to do, instead of asking, why are we doing this, and holding these companies' feet to the fire. There's no excuse for a company to come out and say that we're deliberately giving you an inferior product. There's no excuse for a company to come out and deliberately give you a inferior piece of hardware that's 2 generations behind in power, to where a company like this will have an excuse not to use their latest engine, even though it still runs on the Switch. But they can use it as an excuse. And you can't really argue with it, because we're like, well, yeah, they probably should have not done that. But it's too much BS from both sides for me to say, well, EA, they're stupid for doing this, and they're EA, I can't do that, because there's too much BS on both sides of the coin in this situation. You know, I mean, stupid is as stupid does. So, you know, EA, you know, they shady for trying to basically take the weakest version of the game and put it on the Switch. They probably could have, you know, at least took the PS4, Xbox One version and brought it down to the specs of the Switch and made it look a little better. But I'll be honest, I've looked at all versions of this game. This game, in and of itself, does not look all that great. Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, it looks okay, but I'm looking at the Switch version. I'm like, you know what? You're not missing out on anything. You're really not.
Again, I go back to principles. I see where you're coming from, and some of that I agree with. You know, Nintendo chose to go the path that they chose to go, and so they subjected themselves to these possibilities. But I will say this: I believe that EA is doing this right now because of what they see coming from other third-party companies. The reason I say that is, and it kind of, and today validated what I had to say yesterday in my video. EA is trying to respond to what I think they see Ubisoft and Take-Two Interactive with WWE 2K18, with NBA 2K18. Like today, they just announced that both of those games are in parity with the PlayStation 4 Xbox One version, meaning everything that's in the Xbox One as far as features, everything that's in the Xbox One PlayStation 4 version is in the Switch version, but it is visually less impressive, right?
Yeah.
But everything else is there. All the physics, all the other stuff that you expect that you would get in the other versions, the Switch version has intact, minus what we all know because of power, capability, visuals. Then you look at what I just bought with Mario plus Rabbids. When you see that logo come up, you see what? What engine do you see? What's Ubisoft engine?
Is it a Snowdrop? Are they using Snowdrop for that?
Yeah, it's Snowdrop. I just want. So you see that Snowdrop engine show up. So that's cool. that's Ubisoft saying, look, guys, we're not just going to make you a game with our old. We're going to use the current engine. We're going to make it optimized for the Switch, and we're going to give you our best effort. And then you see EA come and say, well, we know we gave you crappy ports in the past, and yes, we could have done Frostbite, and we could have downgraded it and made it a lesser version of the PlayStation 4, Xbox One. But you don't want that. You don't want that, do you? So this is what we decided to do. We decided to make a custom engine and give you a lesser version of the PlayStation 4. And you're giving us the exact same thing that you claim you're not giving us. So
you have to remember how dog that EA did Nintendo with the Wii U. So it's not really that big of a stretch for them to do something like this.
No, it ain't. I'm trying to convince people, because I got slack when I said, and Keith just said what I said. I say, I don't care if the game is good. Don't go buy it for the very reason Keith talking about. Make EA come correct. Buy the other companies. You see that they putting their best foot forward. I don't play Mario plus Rabbids, them type of games. I've never really played a game like that. But I'm willing to step outside of my comfort zone, try a new experience, and because they putting their best foot forward, I'm willing to give them my cash. When NBA 2K18 come out, I'm buying 2 copies. I'm buying the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One version.
Yeah,
one of the 2.
4 copies?
I'm buying the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. That's why I'm thinking. My son got the Xbox One, and I normally buy for him. Okay. But I was thinking about you. I'm serious. I was like, K-Bum, I might want to get it on with K-Bum. I buy for the PlayStation 4, and we still can get it in. He can still play it and just be on the PlayStation 4. So I'm buying 2 copies. I'm buying NBA 2K18 for the PlayStation 4. I'm buying it for the Switch. And then I'm giving WWE for the Switch. Why? Because Take-Two Interactive and is doing right. And so I feel like, hey, if you're willing to do that and give us parity with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version, I'll double dip on this game and give you another $60+ for this game. EA, forget you. No, I'm not giving you a dime. And I would persuade and tell anyone that owns a Switch not to go support. Like, make EA prove themselves. Don't go, like Keith said, don't go buy this game, man.
And that's how I feel. And that goes back to what I was saying before about the main reason why third parties have not been on Nintendo consoles, because they don't sell well. Well, if people go out and actually buy the games that you see, these companies are actually trying and doing the best that they can with what they have, and people actually support them, then they might look at that and say, it might be worth our time and worth our effort to try to get our AAA titles on the Switch, even if they're inferior, because people have shown interest there. And we want to be able to get that consumer base and keep them, in our pockets, just in case somewhere down the line Nintendo does release more powerful hardware, and that's something we could talk about later. They can still be there ready to go because they bought your games in the past and they saw you doing the best with what you had.
Okay, I agree. So, any other thoughts on this? I mean, I think Keith and D2, all of us, I feel like we hit it off right on the nail. Any other thoughts on this before we move on?
No, we can move.
Keep your money in your pocket, people. If you're going to buy FIFA, I wouldn't even buy for I wouldn't even buy for the other play. Like D2K said, if you actually go look at the game, it mirrors what's going on with Mass Effect. Like I was watching, they were showing a PlayStation 3 compared to the PlayStation 4 version. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the PlayStation 3 version did not look bad at all compared to the PlayStation 4. And some of the animations and neck, like the neck was all contorted and twisted like Exorcist style, and he running and looking back, and his eyebrows was too big, and his mouth was weird, man. And I'm like, dude, what's going on with EA's engine? But like D2K said, so we ain't missing out on nothing, but it's the principles, man.
Yeah.
Don't go buy this game.
I played 17. I thought 17 was a very good graphic, very good looking game. I know I played 17. I actually rented, I actually bought 17 when it was on sale. I thought it was very good. But I haven't really watched too much of 18. Actually, I did. I was in the beta. I had a closed beta version of 18. To be actually, I've already played 18 on the PS4. And to me, it didn't look. It looked to me just the same as a 17. I didn't really see anything that really blew me away.
Right. They phoned it in. They phoned it in with this one, big time.
Okay, so let's move on, man.
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to ask, was the PS3 version running the Frostbite engine?
No,
it was.
No, it's not.
It's running the K-Bomb said
Ignite.
Engine.
Okay.
And I don't believe EA has made a custom engine. I think that's just a bunch of. They can tell us anything. It's the same company that sold us the exact same game on the. I think what was it on the Wii U? When they found out that it was basically. It was the same game twice with it just updated roster. I can't remember what that was. EA did that too.
Was it not FIFA?
Was it FIFA? Well, they just updated the roster and gave you the exact same game, updated roster and charged you $59.99 for it. I think that was. Yeah. So like look that up, K-Bum. They sold us it's like you buy Madden 17. And they put 18 on it and just update the roster and give it to you. That's what they did, bro. And when it was found out, they hid their hand and act like they didn't do it. So why should anybody from the Nintendo fan base believe that you made a custom engine for the Switch?
It would it doesn't really make any sense for them to say that. I think they just say stuff like that to fool simple-minded people because you would stand the reason that it would be more difficult and time consuming to create a new engine from scratch for the Switch when you could just use an engine that's already there.
There you go.
It doesn't make any sense.
And that's why I said this ain't nothing but a souped up or Ignite running at its highest level or something like that. Even if it's that. We don't know because what I'm hearing, the Switch version doesn't look comparable to the PlayStation 4 version. EA says it looked better than the PlayStation 3 version, but I haven't seen any evidence of that being true. And it might be a good game, but I say on principle, keep your money in your pocket or buy it on another platform, something like that. Don't support them. I say that. Don't support the Switch version. Don't give them your money for the Switch version. That's how I feel about it. But let's move on, man. So I thought this was interesting. Me and Keith was having this conversation. I ran across a company by the name of Curved Labs. They are a graphics design and concept design company where they design concepts for cars and different ideas and different things like that. So they took it upon themselves to take what they've been hearing, the rummaging that's supposedly going on behind the scenes at Sony, and they've made a concept art design and actually physical concept design for what they're calling the PlayMan, which is the PlayStation's or Sony's answer to the Switch. I made a video on that today. It looks pretty cool. Supposedly it will not have a disk drive or a cartridge drive. It will stream and link to your PlayStation 4 and stream the games almost like the Vita did with the PlayStation 3 or like the Wii U to the gamepad, but more powerful. And this is supposed to be based on the ideas and some of the rumored concepts that Sony is throwing around behind closed doors. And then I ran into this. Super Metal Dave said that there is a big announcement coming from Sony at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And, you know, yeah, Super Metal Dave still, you know, Super Metal Dave always want to position himself as having that info, that insider hookup. But I will say this. Sony did announce their press conference at Tokyo Game Show pretty early, right? They already promoting it, signaling us to pay attention, to put this on our calendar, our mental Rolodex, to tune in to the Tokyo Game Show, to the PlayStation, to the Sony press conference. And so with all this happening, I want to get y'all thoughts. First of all, what would you think if Sony did, or do you believe Sony will announce something in the lane of what the Switch is? I'm gonna go to D2K first, Keith second, then I'm gonna end on UK Bomb, and then we can just switch it up after that.
For sure.
Go ahead, D2.
Well, I did a blog, a couple of days ago talking about this exact same thing.
I read it.
Oh, you did?
About the PlayMan?
No, about what Super Metal Dave was talking about.
Oh, about Super Metal Dave. Okay, go ahead.
Because it was kind of weird, because I watched his video and he was talking about how, there's two big surprises, one coming from Nintendo, one coming from a company that's not Nintendo. And at that point, I didn't really know specifically what he was talking about in terms of the company not with Nintendo. I was thinking that it could have been a third party. It might have been something about NVIDIA or something like that. But then, like within a few minutes, he changed the picture and the actual title of the video and showed that Sony was going to be holding a press conference on the 19th of September. So now I know who the other company was that was going to have the big news. Now, I don't want to rehash everything that I said in the blog, because I said it very eloquently there, I think.
Would you put a link up for us in the Hangout? I wouldn't mind reading it when we get off air.
Okay, but it's basically, Sony basically started designing this prototype around the same time that Nintendo did. They basically were looking at other hybrid devices that were out on the market years before, back in as early as 2013, with the Razer Edge, which is pretty much what the PlayStation prototype looks like. If you actually look at the picture of the PlayStation prototype and you look at the Razer Edge, they almost look completely identical. The controllers and what they attach to the screen look almost exactly the same. But these devices were already out there, and I'm pretty sure that both Sony and Nintendo said this is a direction that we need to go, or at least think about it. And they both started working on prototypes. Now, obviously, Nintendo got to the marketplace first with theirs, but they had to. And Sony didn't, because Sony was still doing, and they still are, but doing so well with the PlayStation 4. So it was no rush for them to bring this out to the marketplace, because they already had that, and they had PlayStation VR. So they didn't want to compound by having too much hardware out there at the same time. But now, having the benefit of actually sitting back and watching what Nintendo has done with the Switch, looking at the good things that they have done, the bad things that they have done, regardless of when this is coming out or if it's coming out, they do have the benefit of being able to fine tune and tweak this device to have everything that the Switch doesn't have, and things that Nintendo might not have thought about or might not have been able to fit into the device. The only thing that I could say that could derail this whole thing is that Sony's first-party titles just don't play well in portable formats. And that's the thing that's been Nintendo's strength, is that their first-party RPs are pretty much designed for portable devices. And Nintendo is basically a portable company first. We're used to playing their home consoles. We really think about it. The most success that they've had has been in the portable arena. They've sold more portable games. They sold more portable consoles. So that's where, and their IP works the best in a portable format because you can pick it up and play right now. Their games are fun to play right now. You don't have to sit around and find this thing and talk to this person and go here and go there to have fun with the vast majority of their games. It's all just pick up the plate, press start, you're going, you're doing it. But back to Sony, I don't know if they're going to say anything about this at this event. Last year, they talked about the PlayStation 4 Pro. We all knew it was coming, so it wasn't really a surprise. They just, finally unveiled it officially. I don't know if they're going to do it this soon because, again, PlayStation 4 is doing well. The PlayStation Pro is out there. I don't know if they want to take a chance on putting something out there this early. Just as even just putting it out there, because the sentiment is going to be from people that you're copying Nintendo, even though that's not the truth. That's what people are going to say, and that can have a negative impact on the sales of your device. This is a Switch knockoff, and people might not even want to give it a chance because they're going to look at it in that light and say, "Oh, you're just copying off Nintendo. I don't want to mess with that." So, that might happen regardless of when you release it. But if you do it now, it's certainly going to be that way. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. And you make some good points. I'm saving my opinion because you hitting on some good things. I agree with a lot of what you said. Go ahead, Keith Norris.
Okay. To piggyback off what D2K was saying, and the original question is do you think Sony's going to do this?
Yeah, do you think Sony's going to do it?
All right. Yes. And to kind of bust it wide open, what we were talking about, Nintendo's left themselves open. And I'm finna reload D2K's gun with the stuff I'm gonna try to say. Nintendo's left the door wide open. There's so many things, and this is just me speaking for real here. There's so many things that Nintendo could have done with the Switch that Sony's gonna easily do and do it far better than what Nintendo probably would have done. And they're gonna, I don't know, I can't say success or failure because I don't, Sony's handhelds and all the different stuff outside of the home console is never really as successful, but they're going to, on a technical level, they're going to be better than what Nintendo did. And like I said, they left it wide open. Nintendo didn't give us media apps. I'm pretty sure Sony's going to give us media apps. Nintendo doesn't have cloud saving and all these other features. And it's just going to be a feature-rich PlayMan Switch type device or whatever that's leaving that the Switch leaves a lot to be desired. You know what I mean? And I think they're going to do it, but I didn't know that they were going to be streaming, and that's what I'm kind of like, because PlayStation, is it PlayStation Now? I think it's PlayStation Now where you stream games is terrible. Well, the last time I tried it, it was terrible. So that could be the biggest pause with this thing, but it would be smart for Sony to do it because it's still a wide open market. I mean, Sony fans will love to take their games on the go and play them. If you can play your same PlayStation 4 games and take them on the go with you and play them in their full HD on this PlayMan, I think it will be awesome. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I got some more to say, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay. K-Bomb 20.
Okay, I'll go ahead and say what I gotta say. So when I saw it, man, I was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I never thought Sony would make something so amazing. And I thought to myself, man, Sony wins, man. They
Stop
win.
it. Stop it. knock it off.
I saw it when I saw it, and I said to myself, "What the crap are you doing, Sony?"
Well, that ain't Sony. That's not.
No.
Okay.
I know, but it's based off of the rumors from
Yeah.
Sony, and so didn't really understand they would do something like that, because the failure of all their handheld systems, have all of them failed, and I understand having this console thing. Yeah, I don't know if people trust
the PSP did not fail.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry. The Vita.
They only had one failure. I mean, they basically have a 500 record in consoles. The PS Vita failed. The PSP was extremely successful.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm referring to their last thing they did, which was the Vita, and how they treated that. But my thing is, I don't know. I don't care for it. I don't care about taking my games on the go. And I don't really play games like that, and I don't really care that much about playing games in that manner. And so to me seeing that, I don't have any actually care about that. But do I think Sony is going to do it? I'm going to say no. I know Sony has patents. I know Sony has talked about this, but I actually don't think Sony is going to do this. I think it's just way too much hardware, way too little time, and having way too much out there, and stretching yourself kind of thin, so that you lose money on hardware. I mean, that's how the gaming industry has always been. And I don't see them doing that. But I do have one thing to say before I give my time up to Level, is that when people say that Sony doesn't or is unable to do what's the word, gaming on the go, that's actually false. You actually can game on the go with Sony. And I've done it several times. I've taken you do that by the PlayStation. What was the app called? It's not PlayStation now. It's like PlayStation remote, and I can actually take my laptop and play and go. I went to someone else's house, and I played. I was playing Madden at my buddy's house off my PlayStation on my laptop. And if this device is going to stream, that's the same thing as using your laptop to stream your PlayStation games using the remote app. So I don't really see the added benefit of now having a Sony device that does it.
How good was it?
If I had a good connection, it was playable. There still was some lag, but it was playable.
Okay.
Not any like fast twitch stuff, so you couldn't play like Call of Duty or stuff like that. But Madden, yeah, I played Madden and I enjoyed it.
So you enjoy playing your games on the go?
No, I don't enjoy playing my games on the go. I enjoy the time that I had with it, because it was where I was at. That's the only thing I had. But no, I would not want that to be my preferred way of playing games. So you're trying to set me up.
I mean, I agree, but I agree that I'm more of a in front of my TV on the couch, pro controller in hand, but taking it out, having the luxury to take it out the dock, and if I have to play that way and still have the exact same experience, is pretty cool. But I would say this: it's not a question of if for me, it's when. It's not an if question; it's a when question. Yes, I believe Sony is going to do this. Why? Because it's Sony, and Sony does this. This is what they do. I would go with what D2K said. It maybe not is not copying, but it will be perceived as copying. But I do believe Sony is going to do it. My thing is this, man. I want to get back to what Keith was talking about, and I know a lot of folks probably wouldn't want to hear what Keith was saying, but Keith telling the truth. One thing Sony will have out the gate is they have the luxury of watching what Nintendo did and didn't do. And with the situation with online, with the situation with no apps, and other features that would make the Switch even grander, Sony can come with a device that gives you those features, that gives you the ability to surf the internet, that gives you the ability to watch Netflix or YouTube, that gives you the ability to go online with your friends without all these different attachments and apps on your phone and all that stuff. They want to give you that and then some. But K-Bump 20 hit on something that I think everybody need to hit the pause button on, and Sony will have to need to think about this too. The caveat, the warning, or the thing that Nintendo will have over that is the fact that this is the only platform that Nintendo is having to worry about. I think Nintendo need to get the 3DS over and done with. I know it's selling well, but you need to put all your focus on the Switch and whatever is beyond the Switch. You need to go ahead and let the 3DS and help those folks migrate over to the Switch. Put the games that you're going to put on the 3DS, upscale them, do it better, and get those folks to buy into the Switch.
That's right.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
My throat there.
Right. You know, they should have put Metroid Return on the Switch and Metroid Prime on the Switch. Force their hands to migrate on over. And I know people be like, well, no, they need to do that because this empowers Nintendo. All they have to focus on now is the Switch. So with Sony having PlayStation VR, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, that's a lot of devices, and now a Switch-like device. Sony has a lot of things that they got to maintain and manage. So something is going to lose, is going to be on the lesser end of their focus. If the PlayStation 4 is the cream of the crop, if it's what's getting them all the money in the Pro, then all their focus is going to be there. If look at VR. When is the last time we heard anything about PlayStation VR?
They got a new bundle coming out on sale.
But I mean, right? But I'm talking about Sony hasn't really been talking. It's almost like the Vita. They don't talk about the Vita, but it's still selling in Japan. They still making games for the Vita, but you don't hear Sony talk about the Vita. Why? Because they have too many things to focus on. Third party ain't gonna just follow Sony any and everywhere they go. Right now, PlayStation 4 and the Pro is the third party focus. Sony doesn't have enough first party to make it viable, and then if they try to stream old games, I don't think people are going to buy an expensive device to play PlayStation 3 games and stuff. So, but I do believe they have something. I don't believe they're going to announce it this year. I don't believe that. And Sony would be foolish to do that. But I do think we will hear something about it sometime next year. Sony will have a device that is going to compete against the Switch. It makes sense. When you look at the success of the Switch, if I was Sony, I would jump into that boat and see what I can get out of it myself. I mean, to me, I think VR was the wrong move. I don't think this is a wrong. I think VR was their wrong move. Me personally, but
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't have done VR. And maybe in the Pro, I'm kind of the Pro. Now that I've seen the X, I'm more positive on the Pro. I'm not saying I'm going to get one, but I do have a 4K TV. Eventually, I might get a Pro when it cheapens up and be less. I might actually go out and get one. Only thing that's making me hesitate on that is the fact that they don't have a 4K Blu-ray player in it. So I'm trying to wait and see if they do a revision and put a 4K Blu-ray player in it, and it might entice me to get one. But I think they got too many devices, like K-Bum said, to do it right now. But it's not an if for me. It's a win. It's a win situation. Go ahead, whoever want to go ahead.
But is it really too many devices, though? Because the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Pro are basically the same thing. You just one with PC-esque features. And then if this PlayMan or whatever is also playing the same games and not its own specific handheld games. So that's pretty much 3 devices. And I agree. PlayStation VR was a mistake. They shouldn't have did it. I don't know what they was thinking. And then did they lower the price on that thing?
No, they lowered the price of the bundle.
Just the bundle.
It's a cheaper bundle. That's the price of the system, $399.
Yeah, they should have did that. And then they should have got the Vita out there.
I believe, like I said, that's why I believe they're going to do this, because I believe PlayStation VR was a knee-jerk reaction. They saw all the buzz around Morpheus and is it Vive? Yeah.
But they were planning this before those things really got huge.
See, that's the crazy thing, man. DJK just said that with this, and you said that, and it's supposedly they had the idea for they had iToy before Connect, and they supposedly had patents for motion controllers before the Wii. So what is Sony doing? Why they letting everybody beat them to the punches? They got these ideas already.
They need a Vita.
What's going on with that? Because I've heard this, and I don't doubt that it's true, because like I said, I heard that Sony had ideas for motion way before the Wii and Nunchuck. They just didn't bring it out. They did have the iToy, but it wasn't as advanced as Kinect, but it was still what Kinect was doing. They did distill this from, I would say, the Genesis and the GameCube to the Game Boy Advance. You know, the ability to use a handheld and manipulate your system. But they had that with the Vita already before the gamepad and the Wii U. They had those capabilities. They just started to really push it after the gamepad and the Wii U. So why is Sony hesitating to put out these innovative things that they have ideas for? Why are they waiting till another company proves it, then they jump in? Why are they doing that?
Well, somebody said it. I think it is lack of leadership, because you're not paying attention to trends that are happening in the marketplace. You got to have focus groups that are paying attention to what's going on, and you have to know when to pounce on something. And that's the reason why the Wii was as successful as it was, because they understood what was needed at the time. If they released the Wii any other time, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was. But it was the right cocktail of parameters for a motion control based system to be successful, and that only comes from people paying attention to trends and what's going on in society. And I don't think that Sony has a good enough team working on that. That's the reason why they are being beat to the punch in certain situations with technology that they've already thought of, 2-3 years beforehand. So
good point.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting to me, because I remember reading many articles about the Move was an already thought up concept even before the Wii remote. And I remember Nintendo even saying that they wasn't the first ones to come up with this idea. They just implemented. They actually went with it. They said, "Oh, this is the way to go," and they went that direction. Now they flubbed up on the gamepad not because the technology wasn't good. The design of the Wii U and the gamepad was the problem. Not necessarily what it was doing, how it looked, the casualness of it, the cheap looking nature of it, and how it looked so much like the Wii, and then the power and all that is kind of what hurt the gamepad with the Wii U. But again, Sony had that technology too. So they are innovative, but it seems like they are more reactionary in what they actually do than creating the space that everybody follows. So yeah,
sometimes it gets you into big trouble, like it did at E3 2010, because they were all in for 3D there. They have shown up 3D TVs and their 3D games and their 3D movies and 3D food and everything.
3D food.
They were showing 3D, and then Reggie came out like, glasses though, man. Glasses. What if you didn't use glasses for 3D? Here comes Iwata up to the screen with her glasses free 3DS. Boom! You're not supposed to let stuff like that happen to you.
But still, even in that, Sony still dominates home consoles. It's crazy, man.
Because for home consoles, because basically the base, what is that we actually want and desire from a home console?
Here we go.
Sony continuously gives us that.
Yep.
I agree.
If they don't do anything else, what is desired and what is necessary and what should be on a home console, Sony gives us that every single generation.
Yes, I had to bow to that truth. That's true.
I feel like that's the one question nobody ever asked. Like, what do we need or what do we want or desire from a home console? And that answers your question.
Yeah.
This is why Sony is always winning, because they really don't change the formula. We know what works. We're going to give it to you, but this time we're going to give it to you on these steroids. And then we're going to up the steroid count each time we come up with a new console.
Yeah, they don't break the mold. They just add to it. Meaning like the controller. Literally gave you the PlayStation DualShock almost 3 systems in a row. Really, you can say 4, but definitely 3. And even the PlayStation DualShock is basically a small change of what the DualShock was. But so yeah, you're right.
And there's basically a evolution of the SNES controller.
Yeah, we know that. I'm just saying, sticking to what you were saying, D2K, and I bet K-Bun would agree. And I would have to agree looking at what Sony has done. They keep it simple. They stay with the stuff that work. They don't change it. And they add the other stuff you want. They don't change what you like. They keep that there. And they give you other stuff to add to it. Whereas Nintendo, they will change up the controller on you.
Reboot.
They will.
Oh, this work? Well, let's throw that out.
Yeah, they will. Nintendo will disrupt. Nintendo will disrupt harmony, but there is a kind of harmony to the madness. Even though they're disrupting, they're constantly leading the pack in innovation, so to speak, because they're willing to disrupt their own success.
Right, but they're not gaining any ground. It's like they're on a hamster wheel. It's like every time there's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, they're not gaining any ground because everything that you did that worked before, you said, no, we're going to use that. We're going to go back and do something new again. And it might be innovative, but then like, okay, what happened to stuff that we actually liked the last generation? Where's that?
Right.
You know?
Because you look at the Super NES controller. The actual evolution of that should have probably been the DualShock, but they gave us the N64 controller. Just absolutely different. And then you got the GameCube controller. Then you got a remote and nunchuck. Then you got a gamepad with like Nintendo is constantly
every last one. They're all different.
They're all different.
Technically, the only time we had an evolution was the GameCube controller. If you look at the N64 controller, it was that evolution. That was it. That was the last time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the GameCube controller with the C.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. They gave you because that was literally offset like the Xbox controller, and that C stick literally controlled the camera, which a lot of folks don't give it credit for. And then the way the buttons went around it with the big A and the X and the shoulder button for the Z, and like Nintendo does, like I said, they disrupt what works. But they always stumble into something greater. Whereas Sony, you build success. It's like the iPhone. They don't change up what's working. They just give you another line of apps. You know what I'm saying? They make it bigger and give you another line of apps. They don't change what makes the iPhone what it is. And that's probably why the fan base is so loyal. And I say both fan bases are loyal, but I think that's why Sony is dominating, because from the PlayStation 1 all the way up to now, there's been small changes with power added to it. Like Keith said, steroids, the same, your same format, just more steroids. On Nintendo, they just rip the page out and start drawing a new thing, and you gotta figure out if you want to play that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's pretty cool. But so let's move on, man. Microsoft.
Who?
Microsoft.
Who?
Come on now.
Wait. Oh, snap. My bad. I forgot about them. It's been a while. My bad. Go ahead, bro. You good.
I apologize to all you Microsoft. So Microsoft has just put up the pre-order sales for the Xbox One X, and they say it's the fastest selling pre-order sales in Xbox history. Should we care?
Nope. have they released a number with that?
No. No.
Then why we caring?
Here's the crazy thing. Now, I don't even like this dude. I don't like Michael Pachter, but I happened to stumble across a video where he talked about this, and he said, no one in gaming should pay any attention to the rhetoric that Microsoft is spewing, because for one, we don't have numbers, and the amount of people that we don't even know how many Xbox pre-orders was out there. And he said from what he hearing, it wasn't that many. So it wasn't hard to achieve because you didn't have many out there. So we always talk about Microsoft taking these L's. Did they just take another L with this whole statement? Keith?
Yes, they did. It's just more. It's just the. I think I said this on. I think we talked about this on Sunday, but we can talk about it again. It's that Microsoft dictionary. You know, they make up their own little rhetoric that they want to spew. You know, hey, turn to page 52. Oh yes, we could talk about pre-orders. How we have the most. What are you talking about? These things could be canceled. This is not. I mean, once somebody buys something and take it back, that's a sale. But pre-order can be canceled. It's just more Microsoft trying to talk about the Xbox One because they don't have any games to talk about. They don't have anything else to talk about. So I don't know. It's just an L to me.
That's funny.
Microsoft taking these L's. Microsoft XL.
Hey, since you ain't got a chance to talk about Microsoft in a long time, what's your thoughts on this, man?
What I'm gonna say, right? They're not released. They haven't released any number, and I went and I read, and I'm like, okay. Fastest selling. You sold out the fastest. Great. Did you have 5? I mean, what do you mean? I don't get when you say you sold out the fastest. What does that mean? And so I don't know what to really take of it. I mean, until they release a number, because I know Sony was proud to say about their million pre-orders they had for the PS4, and they taunted that number all around, talking about a million pre-orders. But you know, they haven't said anything about with actual number, actual, you know, hard information. And so this is just them trying to have someone to talk about Microsoft, because like you said, the only thing we were talking about beforehand was the fact that Crackdown was canceled. So yeah, so I won't take too much from it.
Go ahead, D2K.
For some reason I have an urge to recite the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Xbox, M, N, O, P, Q. I mean, they just. I don't know. I don't know who's. I don't. I'm struggling to find words. I really am. It's not. I can't even put. It's.
That boy can't make a sentence.
I can't. This is so preposterous. It is absolutely unbelievable that this company is being run so poorly. That this is happening in this day and age. That how people are allowed to keep their jobs that are working for this company. This is absolutely unbelievable that they could be this incompetent. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they feel like people are stupid enough to believe this, but in actuality, people aren't, and their investors aren't that stupid. I would hope they aren't, but I would imagine so. Their investors aren't this stupid. This is the type of stuff that can get you, you know, injunctions filed against people who are running the company. You can have class action lawsuits. You can have it's not class. It's something else. Some other type of lawsuit that can happen with investors and things when companies are being ran improperly. But this is very dangerous territory that Microsoft is in right now. I mean, this is just they have nowhere to go right now. They have damaged this brand so poorly that I don't see how they could possibly bring it back unless they were to merge with Sony or Nintendo or Apple or somebody else?
Well, they're actually been talking about that. If you pay attention lately, they've been really vocalizing on unifying even the online. It's not a full
Yeah, we talked
merge,
about this last year.
but they've really been talking about unifying that online to have one thing. And Sony is like, we have the upper hand. We ain't gonna do it. But they've been in more conversations with that. They just talked about how they want to talk about Vow. They want to talk about what they said. They said Vow. And they said somebody else wants to be part of the reunification.
K-Bon, I'm so glad you brought that up because I had a thought and I meant to ask you guys just to talk about it. Do you think that Microsoft is trying to come, like you just said, unify with everybody, including Nintendo, to take down Sony because since they have such a monopoly on the video game home console market? Do you think they're trying to team up and say, hey, come play on the Xbox and you can play with everybody else? This is the advantage.
I peeped game on that a long time ago, and I brought it up, and everybody wanted to kill me about the idea of Nintendo possibly forming some type of partnership with Microsoft. And you think about it, they're so brazen and so arrogant to beyond the delusional level. They actually believe that this console with absolutely no games is going to sell, and this is the right thing to do. And I just cannot see how a human being with a functional brain can think that this is going to work. But if the reason why they're so confident is because they know that they can make an announcement at some point, here's the Xbox One S, you said we don't have any games, and then you see games from another company like Nintendo being available on their console.
Well, I mean, that's interesting. I remember back with the Wii, I remember, I won't say it was a team effort, but I remember, I think it's Peter Moore, is that his name?
Yeah.
I remember he was telling you to buy an Xbox 360 and a Wii. I don't know if y'all remember that back in the days. Like, if you buy anything for the holidays, buy you a Wii and an Xbox 360, basically saying you don't need a PlayStation 3. And it worked for a good long time. It did actually work. And but do I see them partner with Nintendo? I mean, no, I don't.
They're both in Washington.
I ain't saying that it's not possible.
They're right across the street from each other.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, you said. I think it was you who said that last week. This last podcast, I didn't know that. But Microsoft has to do something far as their image. Like, to me, I never thought we would be talking about Microsoft and the Xbox brand in this light. Like, these are multiple L's at the L's at the L's at the L's. It's like, man, you are not helping yourself. You're killing all appeal of this system just by, like, no one would find this significant but you, Microsoft. That means you have nothing else to look at, so you got to look at pre-order sales and saying, not the fastest ever, the fastest in your brand. Not, you ain't comparing it to the PlayStation or the Nintendo brand. No, it's the fastest Xbox pre-orders for the Xbox brand. Like, what does that mean? Like, who are we comparing it to? The 360 or what was those sales? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel so bad for Microsoft at this point in time. I don't know. I hate even talking about it, but they brought it up, so I guess we had to talk about it.
It kind of reminds me of those crackpots that come out with those trolls saying that, 75% of people in America say such and such and doesn't so, and they only talk to like 5 people. You know what I'm saying? And people put all this weight behind a poll somebody said. You don't know how many people they talk to. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's move on. Anyway, we got better stuff to talk about. So, Microsoft, get your stuff together, man. I mean, get your act together, bro. Y'all got too much going. Y'all had so much going. What did y'all do to Halo? What? Stop making Forza.
Every year. Every year.
He said, "Stop making Forza."
I mean, stop making Forza. Bring back the stuff that people had relationship with, like Fable. Bring back and do Fable right. Do Halo right. Do a better Gears of War than y'all allowed this company to do. It was okay, but it ended weak. Y'all got so much history that y'all can pull from to be a great company. Where is get Ninja Gaiden exclusive on the Xbox again? Go and bring us Ninja Gaiden and make it like you used to do. Or go get the dude who made that Ninja Gaiden and, hey, we want something like this for it. Like, do that.
Don't get him, please.
Don't get him.
Don't get Itagaki, please. Leave him alone.
That's
the Rockstar dude.
Yeah, like women
that's a Devil's Third guy. Yes, that's
okay. Well,
we don't need
Devil's Third. I can't blame. Devil's Third was lost in limbo, and Nintendo paid for it. But what's that team? What is that team? Ninja
Theory.
No, it's not Ninja Theory. It's
Ninja. Team Ninja. Team Ninja
hasn't been right since that dude left. They haven't been Dead or Alive sucked. That newest Ninja Gaiden 3 sucked. But everything that dude touched was hot. I don't care. He crazy.
Except for the DOA and bikinis.
Yeah, well, he a pervert. He's definitely a pervert.
Man.
He's a pervert.
That's their culture.
Yeah, that's the culture. But everything he touched, with perv and all, be hot. But anyway, let's move on, man. So we end on this note. Nintendo had the Nindies presentation. Ooh. Now, there was a lot of games that was shown that stuck out to me, but one I was not expecting. Suda 51, Grasshopper, Gumi or something like that. How you say his name? Shiro Gumi.
I don't even know.
Travis Touchdown is back. No More Heroes. I don't know how familiar you are with this K-Bum, but
no, I've heard about him and I've seen him. But
this is just as perv as the dude we were just talking about. But dude, I was not expecting that trailer, and the game looked, from what we can see so far, they ain't show no gameplay, but the animated look is running off of Unreal Engine 4. We can talk about other titles too, but what did you think about that, Keith?
Oh man, I almost fell out. I was at work and I was trying to watch it and trying to fix stuff, and I was like, I gotta stop. I had to run out the room. Dude, I've been waiting on, like, y'all don't understand how much I really enjoy the No More Heroes games. Not only are they fun, the boss battles are great, but they're funny. They're funny games. They're pervy. But I just think it's
pervy.
They are. Because he always likes to try to get, what's the girl name? Sylvia, I think her name. The girl that he always like to mess with. But anyways.
Well, he take his lightsaber and the charge it up is to make humping motion. Man, come on now. K-Von, you literally had to take the Wii remote and do some sick. Before you finish this, Keith, let me tell you a story that made me question, should I still be playing games? I went out and bought, this was when Hastings was still here. I went out and bought this game, and we came to the house, and I didn't know what to expect. And I'm sitting in the front room, and my wife happened to come in, and I got the Wii remote. I'm telling you the truth. I got the Wii remote and I'm doing this, like this motion. Yeah, I don't want to say what every male knows what I'm talking about. And my wife looked at me with such disgust,
just disappointment, disappointment all over her face.
Like, and we had just been married maybe a year and a half. Like, whoa, who did I marry? Like, what is going on here? Why are you doing that? This game? And I was like, well, I said, Kate, that's what it requires you to do, the charge. And she just walked off with disgust in her eyes, and I said, you know what? I will never ever that was the most shame I felt playing games ever. The second time was K-Bum's wife shamed me with playing the Wii U. But anyway,
the kitty game.
Yeah, go ahead and finish your thoughts. Hush up, K-Bum. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what's funny? You bring it up. The girl I was dating at the time. Okay, I don't know if anybody has ever played this game. The way you say you remember how you had to say the game?
Sitting on the toilet.
Sitting on the toilet. So we always had this little joke because she saw me playing it a few times, and I was like, "Oh man, I need to go save." In real life.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, but no, Travis. No More Heroes is a good game. I think they got a version of it on PS3.
PlayStation 3, yeah.
It's called No Paradise or Paradise something. But if you get a chance, play it. Find an old Wii, play it. It's a good game, man. Promise you won't be disappointed.
Did you see it, D2K? Did you see some of the Nindies that were showcased for the Switch?
I didn't see it.
Now this is other game called Murphy's Law. K-Bum, I want to get your thoughts on this because did you watch the video I put up?
Yeah, I saw the game.
I can tell how you answered it, just when we finna go. So what did you think about it, man? K-Bum.
Oh, I'm here.
Just think about it, bro. Don't leave me hanging like
that. It's different. I don't know how to put my thoughts together for that game because like you can shoot off limbs and then you shoot people and you grow.
It's weird.
Do you shoot off limbs or do you shoot off mass? I thought it was mass.
It's mass.
Yeah, mass. You shoot someone's head off, but then like you grow when you shoot people, and like they shrink when you shoot more of them. And like it was I didn't know what was going on, man. It was a lot of stuff. To be honest, I'll be completely honest. It looks like it can be a lot of fun. Probably not for me, but for someone else, I think it'd be a whole lot of fun.
Okay, let me get Keith because Keith said when I posted, he said, "Man, nobody ain't want no Murphy's Law." Why didn't you like Murphy's Law, man?
Now that K-Bum saying it could be fun, I'm watching the video right now, rewatching it. It does look like it could be fun, but it just don't look like a game that I would want to play. It doesn't look like it's for me. That's the best I can put it. It just looks really silly, and like I would get real frustrated and mad. Like it would just irritate me, and I don't want to play this. Like where my body go? You know what I mean?
Where my body go?
It seems like they put. Because I don't know if it's shooting bullets or if it's shooting ink. I don't know which it's shooting. Because at first I thought it was bullets. Then I noticed that when he was coming around coming down this little ramp, it was shooting like black ink on the floor.
Yeah. And
it kind of made me think of like realistic Splatoon mixed with like what's the game you be playing, K-Bum?
Overwatch.
But it's like it takes the simplest ideal of Overwatch and mix it with the simplest ideal of Splatoon. And I don't know if that's gonna work, but the only reason I put it up because I felt like this would be something that would appeal to a K-Bum like gamer. But I see that they didn't. So
nah, it ain't. It's not a me. It will appeal. Like people like weird games like that. Like. To be completely honest, people like just those kind of. That's why Indy is known for having weird games, and they can create a cult following like that. Miami, what was that Miami game called? It was an indie game. I forget the name of Miami.
Hotline Miami.
Yeah, Hotline Miami. That's a weird, goofy game, and people love that thing. They loved it.
PUBG.
Yeah, man. And so. I'm thinking that this game can fit in that kind of genre, especially being an indie type game and not taking itself too serious and fitting in a genre that no one else is really doing.
Right. I mean, hey, it depending on the price, I give Murphy's Law a try. Another game that I thought was pretty neat was Floor Kids. I instantly thought about my daughter. Like, now this is if anybody know hip hop, this is break dancing, and it's basically a rhythm based game where you have to, I guess, almost like a Guitar Heroes type of approach where you trying to keep up with the rhythm, and depending on how you keep up, your character hits break dance or b-boy type moves. I thought that game was pretty cool too. It was different. What's another one that was on there?
Hold on. We got to talk about this one though. What's up with this game called Sausage Sports Club? Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what what I'm thinking, and I'm like, I don't know what y'all thinking. Nintendo,
I'm thinking about the movie Sausage
Party.
The movie.
Sausage
Party.
Yeah.
What about is a Mulakai? Is that how you say it? Mulakai. It was the game that was like the Mayan it was the dude could turn into a bird and then he bear. It's kind of had like a shell shaded. That would look pretty cool. It was a few other like Dig, but I mean overall it was basically Travis touchdown was the main was what I really was blown away with. Everything else was really good, but No More Heroes, I was not expecting that game at the end, so it was pretty cool. I would suggest anybody here who hasn't seen it, if you haven't seen it, D2K, K-Bum 20 or whoever else, it'd be cool to go and check it out. Some of that stuff looked pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, some of this is actually coming to PC.
Yeah, and I think it's coming. A lot of that stuff coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox as well. So it ain't. It's a lot of indie games are just a time exclusive, are launching first on the Switch, but it's also coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So, okay, but it might be some indie titles you might like in there, man. I'm gonna say this though. I know you was finna say. Go ahead. What was you finna say?
Nah, that's all I wanted.
I would say this, man. With the Switch, indie titles is really starting to impress me more. Like I never cared about indie titles on the Wii or the Wii U.
I'm proud of you.
Or the PlayStation 4, but with the Switch, I've literally bought several indie titles and look forward to buying even more. Like I'm starting to find the treasure that in them, man, and the good in them, and I'm actually enjoying them. So I thought the Nintendo presentation was good. I thought much of what they showed was good. It was one game I felt like they could have left out. My mom hid my gaming console. What was that?
Yeah, that was silly.
Like why did y'all show that? Like y'all didn't need to do that. But anyway, there's a few titles that stood out to me in that presentation, and I think overall the presentation was real good too. So
before we go, we got actual Gear Club footage on the Switch.
Yeah. Yes, that looks good. Anyway, any other game that's coming out? K-Mom, are you getting that Lost Odyssey? I mean that Lost Legacy? Uncharted 4?
Uncharted 4.5?
Man, I mean, from what I understand, it's supposed to be a new Uncharted. So
4.5, yeah. No, man, it's Uncharted 4.5.
I know, but
I read reviews of it, and they said a lot of what Uncharted 4 did, this game is doing, and they are adding some aspects and making it different. But I read a review saying that him playing it, he said they took a lot of the great aspects of 4, but it also counts as a negative because he felt like that it felt to him more like a reskinned version of 4, and so I'm actually probably not gonna get it. I probably won't touch it for maybe a while.
I want to ask this question, man. I heard somebody ask this in another comment section of another video that I saw, where they asked, with the Uncharted series and many of these series have they improved? Have they really changed? Have they improved the formula that is Uncharted, or is it basically the same game 4 times in a row?
No, absolutely not. Four was not the same game. Four to me, four wasn't 3 for one thing.
It was better than 3.
You spill water on me back here. No, but four was a very entertaining and good game. But I'm not ready to replay 4 again.
No, four doesn't have
I'm saying with the Lost Odyssey thing, the Lost Legacy.
Well,
I'm saying I don't want to play them because I don't want to replay 4 again because that's what it feels like that I'm going to be doing.
I'm interested in Lost Odyssey. I mean, they got two characters that are. I don't know if the girl is Brazilian or one is African, but I don't know what the other girl is.
I think she's more like Indian or something like that.
So I like that in the woman lead, but I'm gonna say Uncharted to me hasn't changed. It has been decline. It's been going down since Uncharted 2 to me. And even though I liked 4, I thought 4 was good. It didn't stand out to me like 2. 1 was good, but 2 improved on 1. 3 was horrible. 4 was redeeming, but not 2. And then we got this one. Like, I don't know if I'm asking the question right. Like, the formula that Sony has with this game, are they doing enough with it? I guess that's the question I want to ask. Outside of the visual stuff, are they doing enough with the game? Like, what do you want to see this game go next, Uncharted? Like, where do they need to go with this franchise? What would you want to see changed about it?
To be honest, I would actually want them to create different, do what those guys Guerrilla Game did, and create a different game.
So just leave the whole universe Uncharted.
Okay. And maybe come back after a couple of years, but I would love to see them like they did with Last of Us. It was a totally different universe, totally different game, totally different feel. I would want them to leave the Uncharted universe alone.
So you think The Last of Us was a different feel from Uncharted?
Yeah, it was for me.
Yeah, I actually like The Last of Us.
I like The Last of Us, but I felt like The Last of Us was a Uncharted thrown into a suspense, scary setting.
There was literally not that much climbing in The Last of Us. It was a lot more stealth. It was a lot more stealth focused than what you get in Uncharted. And I think that's what I really liked about it.
I think the storyline was ridiculous in Last of Us. I think the storyline shined because I feel like the gameplay started to kind of wane on me, kind of got super repetitive towards, I say, the last 3-4 hours of the game. It got real repetitive. Really before that, but definitely those last 4 hours was like I was just doing the same thing over and over again. But the storyline was kept me going with it. But what you think, D2K? Have you played Last of Us yet? No. Okay. Anyway, well, that's all I had for tonight. Anything else y'all want to holler about before we get out of here? I think we pretty much on good time.
Well, as I was saying earlier, we were talking about the Super Metal Dave thing. What do you think is going to happen in terms of what he's supposing is going to happen?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
I don't say this to knock or anything like this. I feel like Super Metal Dave hedges his bets. Like he positioned himself to where, well, he was wrong with the Switch, but this time I feel like he's positioning himself to whatever they do that's shocking, he can say that's what he was talking about. I believe that he's talking about what we talked about is a Switch-like device. But if they don't announce it, if they announce some new game that we didn't know about or whatever, he can say that's what I was talking about.
No. Not about Sony. I'm talking about Nintendo.
I don't know. I have no idea. Only thing I can think of is the supplemental computer device. I don't think Nintendo is going to do a home console thing. I really don't. I think I think that'd be a bad move for Nintendo. I think whatever they do, they need to be involved in that Switch. If it's going to improve what the Switch can put out on the big screen, I think that'd be the wisest thing they could do.
See, that's kind of based off of, you look at the two previous videos that he did, and you look at the imagery that he has in the videos and subtle things, it kind of sounds like he's alluding to a more powerful dock for the Switch.
That would make sense, but like I said, my thing with Super Metal Dave, I like Super Metal Dave. I think his videos are very entertaining, but I think sometimes Super Metal Dave wants to come off, and sometimes he leaves you. He says a lot of nothing, and keeps kind of forcing you to come back and get more to the puzzle. And then when you don't know where he's going with it, because he ain't really telling you anything. He's just telling you something is coming. I mean, I can do that. You can do that. Man, something big is about to happen, and we can keep them, but you never say anything. It's kind of like leading you on a wild goose chase, and I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's still shook up about the AMD thing. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty much what it is. I'm pretty sure he already knows what it is. He wants to come out and say it, but he doesn't want to come out and say it, because I told him this myself, and he acknowledged it. I told him, I said, when it comes to Nintendo, the only thing's for sure is that nothing's for sure. They can pull the rug out from you at any given time and say, "No, we're not doing it. We're going a different direction." So that's the reason why he's not going to come out and say what he thinks that it is and what we all think that it is.
Right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and like you were saying about the PlayStation Portable thing, that it's not a question of if but when. I think it's the same thing with the supplemental computing device. I think it's a question of when, not if. It's just when it's going to happen, we don't know, because the Switch as is cannot survive in an ecosystem with what's out there right now going forward, because this is a 9th generation console, and you already have 2 8th gen consoles that are more powerful. You have 2 mid-gen consoles that are more powerful, and now you're going to have 2 other 9th gen consoles that are going to be coming that are going to be substantially more powerful, and possibly a PlayStation Portable console. So they're going to have to do something, and there's too much information out there. There's too many little things here and there that have credibility that you can dismiss it. So,
and also you look at the. Oh, go ahead, Keith.
I just want to ask D2K. First of all, somebody's phone needs to be charged up. I heard it in the background.
That's my phone. That's my phone.
No,
busting me out, man.
Hey, D2K, what would Nintendo need to do to get you to buy a Switch?
They can't.
Okay, never mind. Carry on.
What about you, Keith? K-Bun? What would Nintendo need to do to get you to buy a Switch? I know you eating, but go ahead and pause on that.
I'm killing this food too, man. I made it myself too, man. I feel like them commercials when like it's shaking bacon, I help. I made it myself. Made my own dinner. Feel like a man now. No, but you said what would they do to make me want to buy it? I would love to see. I would love to see some games that when I look at it, I say, "Wow, that looks good." I would love to see some story driven, and maybe that's the Sony in me, some story driven, maybe third party games. Because if you look at my category of games, the majority of games I play are third person. Right. Even going back to my favorites, Prince of Persia, going back to Metal Gear Solid, going back to God of War, Witcher. All these games are third-person, story-driven games. It's always been my favorite, and so if they start introducing those games that are visually appealing, so it doesn't have to be the best-looking thing in the world, but visually appealing, like they did with Mass Effect, that made me buy an Xbox, because it was a third-person adventure that just captivated me, and I had to play it. And so it would have to be something similar to that. And it would probably have to be in that kind of genre. So maybe even a sci-fi third-person game that had a great story.
Okay. I mean,
let me expand more on what I mean. I said that they can't. And the reason why I said that they can is because Nintendo will never do the things that I would want them to do to make me interested in the game. That's not who they are. They're a different company now, and I've accepted it and I've moved on. And I think that's where a lot of people who, view Nintendo in a negative light are still complaining about it need to get to the place where I am and say, look, either you need to accept them for who they are and say, okay, I'm going to roll with you, or go do something else. There's no sense of sitting around being mad because Nintendo keeps doing things that you don't think that they should, and they're not doing the things that you think that they should. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Accept who they are, who they want to be, and leave it at that. And that's what I did. They're not going to make the types of games that I wanted them to make. They're not going to make the types of genre or get into the genres that I enjoy. And they're not going to do it, or they might do it every once in a while, but it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be a consistent diet of it. They're not going to push the envelope in terms of specs or features of a console. They're going to keep shoving gimmicks down your throat. No matter what console they make, there's going to be a gimmick attached to it somewhere. And, it's just not going to change. So I said, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, going back what you said, I do believe that Nintendo will have to do something. The Switch in its current state, no, it won't. I give it 2 years. I think it can survive this year, next year, and then we would need to either be getting a new iteration or some like a new powerful dock that pushes it beyond. The portable part is fine. It's what you get in dock mode that I think Nintendo is going to have to address for the future. But yeah, I definitely believe a new Switch will be coming around 2019. We'll start either hearing about a new dock, a new Switch, or some like supplemental computer device that ups the ante to make it stay in the noise of what's going on in the industry. Yeah, I agree with you on that, D2K. I don't see what we have right now standing the test of time that long. But for right now, I think they fine. Man, I was going to say this. VR, they found VR in the code of the Switch, whatever you call that. They see the coding for VR there already. So
we already seen the patent that they already had the patent for the glasses where the actual Switch slips into the thing, or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Nintendo kind of got gun shy about that once they saw how PlayStation VR kind of stumbled out of the blocks and how the whole the fanfare for VR kind of died down. They probably said, let's wait on that. So, who knows? But we know they released. They said it. They said that we have the technology to do VR. We just want to make sure that it's ready before we deploy it.
And let me say this. They also found out that voice chat is capable to be ran straight from the Switch is being blocked.
Oh my gosh.
Like in local, like when you link up locally, like say for instance you playing Splatoon, but you have a whole bunch of switches in one area. Voice chat is directly through the Switch. It's only when you go online with voice chat is blocked and forced to go through your phone app. So the Switch is capable of doing voice chat right out of the Switch, the unit itself.
I keep telling people that what I said this in the blog is that the Switch it's not a complete puzzle. There's something missing here, and I think that the whole voice, this stupid peripheral that they came out for the voice chat thing, that was just a last minute makeshift thing that they put out there so that people can play Splatoon 2 and have voice chat. I think that whatever it is that they have is not ready yet, and they were waiting for something to happen to where they can get it completely finished before they deploy it. And maybe they're going to do it all at the same time. Maybe they're going to unleash the Switch in its full power at some point with the supplemental computing device, with apps, with voice chat and all that type of stuff. Because to me, the Switch felt like a soft launch. I don't know if it felt like that for anybody else, but to me, it felt like a soft launch of a console. They felt like Nintendo said, we got to get this out here now because we can't keep taking these L's on the Wii U. We got to do something right now. So they put the Switch out there, and to their credit, it worked. It's been a success so far, and has given them some valuable breathing room to perfect what might be coming on the back end. So now, when they finally do give you the complete picture of what the full version of what the Switch is, that could change the game a lot, and that could make things interesting. And like I said in the blog, there's going to be a lot of salty people on both sides of the coin. There's going to be Nintendo fans that are salty because the PlayStation Shift or Switch, or whatever you want to call it. There's going to be Sony fans that are going to be salty if Nintendo has a supplemental computing device, especially if it has the specs that were rumored about a GTX 1060 GPU with 3.5 teraflops of power and 8 gigs of RAM, because that will put it on par with the PlayStation 4 Pro at least, if not slightly more powerful. So now it wouldn't be sweet either way. It wouldn't be sweet for Sony, it wouldn't be sweet for Nintendo, but it'd be sweet for us, because now everybody is on their P's and Q's. Everybody's putting their best foot forward. Everybody's bringing their big guns to the fight, and we, as a consumer, win when the companies do that.
I would say, as far as the voice chat, I believe Nintendo is still trying to play guardian with us. Nintendo fears, for whatever reason, they fear the freedom of what Sony and Microsoft gives to their fan base. I feel like Nintendo fears that they find the needle in the haystack to concern themselves with, or they like to monitor for, I guess, feedback, how you use the stuff. It's something that they're doing, that they want to control how you interact online. I think they monitoring this stuff. They get information from this stuff, so they always put it in a way that they can get the information that they want, whatever data they trying to gather. So I don't believe it's a situation where they're not ready. I believe it's a situation where whatever they want to do is, let me say it again. They can do it like Sony and Microsoft is doing it now if they want to, but whatever they're trying to create ain't ready, like you said, DJK, and they trying to force you to do it the way that they want you to do it, so that they can kind of monitor how it's done. That's what I think going on.
Well, that's true. I mean, it could be, like I said, I don't know what it is that they're doing specifically. I just know that whatever it is that they want to do is not ready yet, and it wasn't ready for when they launched the console. So They said, well, we're just gonna, like, if you're just saying, like you just kept saying, that they're blocking the ability that's built into the console to do this. So obviously that's their intention, but whatever safeguards that they might want to put up that can be foolproof or whatever, or in their minds foolproof, because there's no such thing, that would keep them from being liable if something happens. That wasn't done yet, so they had to come up with the stupid, splitter thing for Splatoon 2.
Yeah, and Keith, let me tell you this, bro, and we can get out of here. If you do buy the digital version of the NBA 2K18, you gotta have a SD micro card. Is that what they call?
I know what you're talking about.
And how you say it? I'm just butchering that.
Micro SD.
Micro SD card. You gotta. It's mandatory that you have one.
Yeah, I got a 128 in mine.
I gotta go buy one. But I want the physical. I want the physical copy. I don't want the. If I can, I don't know when the physical version is coming out though.
I don't even know if I want to buy that game because of the trash lineups they have for the NBA all teams on there.
I ain't did enough research on all that part, but I plan on getting it. So anyway,
after we get done, look it up, because it's like they left this person out, they put this person in there.
Well, do understand that some of that stuff is due to players not allowing themselves to be put on the game.
Talking about legends.
Yeah, some they have to pay the people, play the people to put them in the game, and the reason why Charles Barkley wasn't in the game is that they couldn't settle on the price, and so he was never in the game.
Oh, okay.
I didn't notice that he wasn't in there, but I'm looking at like how,
it's price.
Why do you have like one person on 3 different all teams? Like LeBron James is on the greatest Miami Heat team, and greatest
and Cleveland,
and Shaq is on Miami and Lakers and Orlando. I'm like, come on now.
I mean, Shaq is one of the probably the best center Orlando has ever had. To be completely honest,
yeah. But what was he with Miami? Like what? 1-2 years?
2 years.
I don't understand why, but they won the championship the year that he was there too.
Yeah, so they won it. But Lonzo was more important to the Miami franchise than
Shaq.
Than Shaq was.
Well, sentimentally wise, yeah, but not on the court. Far as leader wise, yeah, but on the court, no. Shaq
I'm a Bucks fan. And I'm sitting here looking at the fact that you got Brandon Jennings on this team, but you don't got big dog Glenn Robinson.
I'm telling you, I think it's money because Glenn has never been on any of the games.
See, that's stupid to me. Why would you, man? Let them put you in the game, man. You don't need. You got enough.
Well,
money.
You need to pay me then. I mean, that's what some argument is.
Dude, if I was in them shoes, unless I was broke or something, if I'm sitting up here and I'm eating good, the money ain't gonna affect me either way. Yeah, man, put me in the game, pay me a couple of dollars for it. I'm good. My image will be that ain't gonna do nothing but promote me and my image and who I was, and let folks who never saw me play might learn about me from the game. I think that's stupid. I think that's dumb. Charles Barkley don't need this money.
But he's in his head. He still think he deserves Michael Jordan money.
That's greed, man. Stop being greedy, Charles. You getting paid from TNT. You got all the money from the NBA. Man, sit down and let them folks put you in the game, man, and shut up, man. Stop.
Put you in the game.
Keith come out of nowhere with that. But anyway, on that note, this has been the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We're about to sign out. I'm gonna start with the one who doesn't like to do this at all, D2K.
You lead in by saying that he doesn't want to do this at all.
You don't like doing it, so
that's funny.
Okay. Keith Norris.
Oh man, great show, guys. Glad to have K-Bomb back.
For sure.
And shout out to Master Roshi. He did his thing.
Man, that had me chopped. I was like, dude, they finna let him check out. I was getting teared up and everything. I'm like, oh
man, dude, we can't talk about Dragon Ball Z. Master Roshi was doing his thing, man. But anyway, that's Goku. Anyway, K-Bomb 20.
For sure. It was good to be back. Trying to get my legs back in the podcast, stretch them out a little bit. Good to get some Sony talking here. So that's enjoyable.
Expect more, man. Expect more. I realize of course you talk about Nintendo. We're gonna get more Sony going.
Appreciate it. No, man, dope podcast, man. Enjoy it. Can't wait to do it again.
All right, fellas. I enjoyed this conversation. Enjoyed all those in the live chat. Make sure you share this with your friends. Hit that thumb up and leave your comments in the comments section on all the different topics. This has been the Live and Level, episode 117. Till next time, folks. Deuces.